Good evening, ladies.
Good
Happy
evening.
Evening.
Monday. Happy Monday. How are you ladies doing tonight?
Grateful for another day.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, God. So, good evening, everyone. This is the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network, and we are excited to be here for yet another Monday. Tonight, we are going to start as we normally do by introducing ourselves and then saying what we are grateful for. And then we will hopefully have a show that will uplift you and share some meaningful information. So, I am Theodora Carter. I am a certified life coach and HR consultant, and I am the founder and CEO of T Carter Coaching and Consulting. And I am grateful to be here tonight. I'm grateful for traveling mercies. I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to go home quickly. And although I was kicking and screaming because I didn't want to go to New York in the winter, but I am glad that I got a chance to spend some time with my siblings and to celebrate my nephews, the three of them, 50th birthday, and that we were able to surprise them.
Nice. That
So,
sounds like fun.
yeah. So,
My name is Manetta Fields. I have over 30 years as a certified healthcare professional turned holistic health educator. And I love to give tips, tools, and strategies using the gifts of the earth that God gave us so that we can be the healthiest version of ourselves. And I too am a certified coach using the Gallup strengths to help us understand, embrace, and support our own uniqueness in everything we do. And let me see, I am grateful because I got to celebrate a cousin this weekend as well. He turned 54, and it was the first time someone had thrown him a birthday party. So his wife did that for him, and I'm so grateful to have been a part of it. So, funny thing is, we are 4 months apart,
ah,
and he's older. um,
you had to throw that in.
but we literally grew up on the same street together. There are three of us that were born together, right there together, three first
Oh,
cousins.
nice.
And so to know that he is now 15 minutes from me is a blessing because after all those years, here we are, full circle, being able to support each other again like we did as kids. So I'm grateful for
Nice. That's nice.
Hi,
Yeah.
good evening. My name is Regina Booker, owner of Season and Fabulous, which is women um, 50 or older, saying it's never too late to start whatever you want to start, whatever it might be.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm happy to say we have our first retreat, April 27th.
Yes.
Yes. And we are planning that. So happy about that. Really excited. And that's what I do. I'm retired, and I'm happy about that as well. But I also substitute teach part time,
Hmm.
which has been a really interesting transition from corporate America.
Mm, I'm sure.
Um, and their special need kids, and every day is just a different kind of experience with them,
Nice.
which is a blessing, which I never thought. I know right now that's my assignment from God. So right now I'm taking whatever assignment God gives me, and it's helping me to open my eyes to the education world, which I
Mm.
never really knew, but I'm seeing a lot of things. So whatever I can fill in and help, right there. So I guess my blessing, I mean, what I'm grateful for is fresh eyes to see
Mm,
Mm.
whatever you wake up and God has your assignment to be with.
But you know what's and this is how we know, right? And I'm gonna try not to go here. I'm gonna try not to get. I just said it to my girlfriend when I was gonna show her. I was like, "Now you the minister. Why I'm up here? preaching. But anyway, I just on Instagram this morning, I saw someone post that their prayer was, God, open up my eyes to see the things that were there all along.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So how poignant is that you would say what you just said. But also for the topic tonight, right? Like literally, what's your focus and are you on point? Right? That's the topic tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes maybe, and I'm gonna put a spin on it, right? Sometimes what we think is our focus, right, is not really what our focus is supposed to be.
Mhm. That
Right?
is so true.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes it's like you said, like you would have never thought you would be in this having this experience, right? But now you're a substitute teacher, right? And you would have probably thought that wasn't your focus, but look where you find yourself.
Yeah, especially special need kids, or which is a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really observed this one kid today, and I've observed him all along, but I really paid close attention to his needs, or what he was responding to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he doesn't like the iPad. He's autistic, but very smart.
Mm-hmm.
Can read, can write. He's verbal, but you have to say, use your words.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't like certain songs or sounds, so he'll hold his ear. So we can't give him the iPad anymore, because whatever happens with the iPad, he had a tantrum, and so we don't give it to him. But now, how he responds when his friends, that's what we call them, don't, be quiet for your friends. When his friends are on the iPad, and if it's too loud for him, or if they're playing something he doesn't like, it really irritates him.
Mhm.
So, now I have to walk over, but I'm understanding him.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand, and I know what makes him tick and what doesn't make him tick. And I thought, I never thought I would really do that.
I love that, because God is giving you the focus to help him be on point,
Mm-hmm.
as the topic says.
Yeah.
What's your focus and are you on point? Because you're able to pay attention, observe, and discern,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it helps him stay on point. And I think that's a very valid part of the conversation whenever we go there, is your focus impacts those around you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Your focus impact those around you, and you having to keep him on point is actually making you have to be on point.
Exactly.
Right? Because now you have to really be intentional about how you interact with him, how you show up for him, right? That you got to pay particular attention to his mannerisms and all of that. So just focusing on him means that you now have to be on point.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, and it's a new experience, right? And how many of us, right, at our age want to even, like, we don't want to really, like, we want to experience new things, but a little part of us is still settled in our ways, right? Like,
Right.
just to be, honest about it. And so it also speaks to the fact that, as you always say, it's never too late.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And part of it never being too late, right, is also recognizing that your focus has to be on being open to doing something different.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right, and trying something different.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Yeah. Her gratitude moment led us right into the conversation.
And also her gratitude, I feel like your gratitude moments are expanding, because even the way your year ended last year, right? Like, you've had so many moments that you weren't in control of.
Right.
Right. But it seems like those moments have made you have to focus and be intentional about what you're going to do next.
Right.
Right.
And let go and let God.
So I'm not sharing, but so Yeah, like your gratitude definitely led us into the topic.
Right.
Thank you for that, because I was like, I'm not sure where we're gonna go with this.
Yes, and I looked it up and it just says focus is where you center your activity, actions, or attention.
Mhm.
Mm,
So, a point of concentration.
yeah,
Right.
So, that's what focus is. So, what's your focus? What are you focusing on? I guess I should say.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And are you setting up goals, intention, or activities that lead you to whatever that focus is? Are they matching? Are they one leading to the other? Because if those are disjointed, then that's a whole other issue. If your focus is not clear,
Yeah,
then how can you be on point?
exactly. And well, intention is my thing, right? Like that
Mhm.
that was my every day I'm asking, right? And this morning I was like, what's your intention? Like I literally feel like either you should be setting a daily intention or a weekly intention that aligns with your goals, right?
Mhm.
Or whatever it is that you have to do for that week, right? Because if you get up and you're not intentional about that thing that you need to focus on, you're you're gonna miss the mark. You're all over the place, right? Like
Mhm,
you're gonna be scattered. But if you get
mhm,
up and you're like, this is what, like, let's use the retreat as an example, right?
Mhm.
You've been talking about this retreat, and now it's like you're focused on it. Like
Right.
you get up every day and your intention is set around what do I need to do today that aligns with the fact that on April 27th I have this retreat,
Right.
right? What are some of the things? Like I gotta text this girl, Theodora, to make sure she did what she was supposed to do. Right. Right.
And I did.
Which is what you did. Hey, sis, did you do XYZ, right? But I think that, there is something about focus and being on
Mhm.
point,
Right.
right?
for sure. You think of a GPS.
Right.
Hmm.
Don't put the coordinates in and see where you go.
Mhm.
Exactly. But that's another thing I talk about, right? That navigating those obstacles, those twists and those turns, right? I mean, some of us, and I would talk for myself, are probably using GPS when you really don't need to use the GPS.
Mhm.
Because
I do that.
but you know why I also do that though is right because although I'm focused, right, on going somewhere, if something happens and I need to pivot, the GPS is gonna be like, I might know where I'm going, but if I have to change course or direction, the GPS is gonna be able to tell me another route, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
So you also have to have those moments when if you gotta pivot, what do you have to be able to help you do that,
Hmm.
Right.
right?
For me, it's prayer. Yes,
Oh yeah,
indeed. Because that's the ultimate GPS.
Mhm.
It's talking to the Lord because you talk about knowing all things.
yep. And it's crazy because I was telling you, Netta, right? How my girlfriend, said someone had asked her, can you have it all, right? And I
Mm,
was like, you can have it all when you define what that looks like, right? And so many of us contribute having it all to external things,
right.
right?
Mhm.
But when
Right.
we recognize that having it all is here, right? Like that
Mhm.
John 10:10, right? Or that Romans 8:28, like, knowing that, you're nothing without God. Like you could have everything, right? But
Right.
if all of that stuff is snatched away and you don't have a connection,
Hmm.
right? And
You have
so
nothing.
right and so it's so true that I think for us as believers and whatever it is that you believe in, we're not saying that you got to believe what we believe in, but all of us as believers in God, right? Honestly, That's our compass.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking up a scripture. Philippians 4:11. Now that I'm speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I'm in
Mm-hmm.
to be content. And for me, that's having it all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God's guidance, direction, his
Mm-hmm.
word, him living on the inside of me. That's having it all because he said, you seek him first and all things will be added.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for me. And I'm sure people define that differently. And from also, initially, my first response, there was a little bit of resistance to that question
Mm-hmm.
because it sounds like, who says we need it all?
That's another way to look at it. Because when my
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend said it to me, I said, well, the reality is that having it all means something different
Different
to
to
everybody.
everybody. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's it. Because what I might feel having it all is different from what you might feel, and then what Regina might feel is right. But then you just brought up a point too, right? Who's to say that we're supposed to have it all?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or who's to say we're supposed to have it all at the same time?
Same time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because the other side of it is, like I was saying to my girlfriend, right? How many of us at any given time has everything working in our lives at the same time, right? I would say for most of us, right, things might be going great in our career, but maybe it's not going great in our personal lives. Or things might be going great in the personal life and not going great in the career, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for some people, yeah, maybe you do have it all. I think there are people out there, but I do think that it all comes down to what does having it all mean to you?
It does.
What's
And
your focus?
right. What's your focus? And can you handle it all?
Mm.
There's that piece too.
That part right there.
Mm-hmm. And God gives you what you can handle, and some doors are closed because you're not able to handle them. So He gives you what you can handle at the time, and He closed doors that you're not able to handle and you're not ready to handle. He's still preparing before you because He walks before you and take away all the things that are in your way.
Yeah.
Covers you. The fence, the roots are at the bottom. He's at the bottom, invisible, covering you from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head. So that's what I hold on to until my all. For me, I always, even in my storms, even when I'm mad at God sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I be mad for a minute. And then I say, I thank you for this storm because I'm going to learn from that storm. And that's having it all to me because then I learned what I went through.
Yeah.
There was a lesson in that storm.
Yeah.
It's painful, but it was a lesson in it.
It was
Exactly.
necessary.
It was necessary. Like,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. I think the you know when we were younger, you didn't want to hear this, right? When they would be like, just keep living, right? You know, what was that saying, right? When they say, right? But when you think about it, right, it is.
I tell my kids that all the time because my aunt told me that one time I was in my 30s and she would do something. And I was like, Auntie, why you do that? She said, keep living.
Mm-hmm.
She stayed with me for 2 weeks. And I would ask her all these questions because she said, keep on living. And she called me Gal. Keep on living, Gal.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on living, Gal. I'm like, what?
There's some things that you can't understand until
because I would ask her, why'd you do that? So why did this happen? Or, it was just, it was like kind of insignificant things, but it was just weird to me. And so she would ask. And so then I told my kids. And they would say something. I said, keep on living. So now my son is grown and he says, now understanding, he tell his son, keep on living.
But that's
31, he says, keep on living.
Because when you do begin to see, right, like those lessons, right, those obstacles, those twists, those turns, and sometimes, right, God is like, you know what, I can't give you more because you're not taking care of what I already gave you.
Exactly.
I can't trust you with
right.
You're not managing what I gave you.
Right.
Mhm,
I can't trust you with more.
Mhm.
So the point that you made is really real, right? Can you handle it all?
Right.
No, nope. So in regards to what's your focus, that comes into play in so many different areas of life. And so I'm going to go down the health route
Mm,
and ask each of you regarding your health, because this can be broken down to so many different types of focus. So, regarding your health in these next 3 months, what's your focus?
well, I will honestly say, I am big on, trying to eat as best as I can, right? Um, Getting better with the oils, right? So, trying new ones and different blends and using them, trying to use more natural stuff, right, on my body and whatever. But the other thing is, for 6 months, like one of my, I have my accountability workout group, and in one of the girls, ladies in the group said, it's like, can you believe it's been 6 months since we all started working out together, right? Because we all have Pelotons, right? Or some of them use the app. But 5 days a week, we try to get up and work out together, right? And, some days everybody's not there, right? But I will say, so this weekend, like I told you guys, I was in New York, Yonkers, got to the hotel, and the first thing I said to the girl after I got to my room is, where's your fitness center?
Mm.
Right? Because I always pack my at least one workout outfit.
Mhm.
I get to the fitness center, and what's in the fitness center?
A Peloton.
Peloton. So now I'm like excited, right? The only thing I was like, I might need to start traveling with my shoes, right? Because I didn't have my clip on, so I had to ride without clipping in. And anybody that spins, at least for me, it's a better ride when I'm clipped in. But I was able to get up like Saturday morning, go downstairs, hop on a Peloton. And it's so crazy because I walked in and this girl was on the bike and I was like, well, how long are you going to be? And she was like, oh, I just got on. Come to find out, she doesn't really know how to use the bike. So then she finally was like, hey, you can have the bike because I can't really figure it out. Right. So I'm like, well, I could show you. She was like, no. So anyway, to make a long story short, I got on the bike. I got a workout in. It wasn't what I would have desired because their bike needed to be calibrated, right? So the resistance was off and I didn't have my spin shoes. But I say all of that to say is when it comes to my health, because I got 2 years and maybe 3 months, right? To go into 60.
Join the club. Join the club.
So I'm really focused. Like, I've always been into, I would say probably from when I first started with Weight Watchers and really lost my weight and got into working out. So I always try to maintain health. But I would say one of my focuses now is really trying to get better with the oils because I'm not where I feel like I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
so what's your focus and are you on point when it comes to that? So that gives you action items, right?
Exactly. Yep.
And so in that conversation, there was uncovered, you know what? I'm not on point in this particular thing, but let me figure out what will get me on point. So your focus really is your overall wellness.
Yep.
And so the steps to get there help you stay focused and stay on point. So, I was curious in regards to just that one particular area, because I know some people it's overwhelming to think about life as a whole. So pick one thing and focus on that, get better at that, and bring along the next thing. We call it habit stacking.
Exactly. But that's the thing, right? It's habit stacking. And it's also, I'm a big proponent in breaking it into quarters.
Yep.
Right? Because the other thing is some of us are like, when you look at the whole, like even when it comes to, because, I lost a lot of weight, right? Maintained it for a long time. And then COVID happened, right? Well, before that, work happened. But, long story short, so now I'm working, right, to take some of that weight off, right?
Mhm.
But if I look at if you look at I gotta lose 25 pounds versus I just need to lose 5%, right? At
Mhm.
a time,
Mhm.
right? It you the end result is different.
Mhm.
So to the point you're making is right, if your overall goal is wellness, what are the components of that?
Absolutely, because there are components.
Like, are you going to focus on your eating first? Are you going to focus on your exercise first? Are you going to focus on drinking more water, right? And if you are not someone that drink water, don't say I'm going to start drinking 90 ounces of water
Exactly.
when you barely drink 8, right?
Exactly.
Mhm.
So,
Exactly. Resting and managing stress.
yep.
Of course, movement is a part of it. Digestive health is a part of that. There's so many parts, which is why it's helpful to work with someone who can help you stay on track
Mhm.
to get you to where you want to be. But understanding what your focus is the first step. What am I going to focus on? So, Regina, what's your health focus?
Mhm.
My health focus is getting back on track.
Mhm.
And a downfall of working at that school is they bring these lunches in that are horrible for the kids. And so they're like, "You want one?" And I'm looking at it like, "Not really." But, and I live across the street. I mean, I can literally cross University Highway,
Yeah.
cross that where that went
Yes.
into the schools right there.
Yeah.
So I guess the part of me is getting up to make my breakfast.
Mhm.
So I will be full and I come home for lunch. So preparation, I need to get back on track.
Mhm.
Okay, so your focus is preparing
To
for the
get
week.
It's
There's
meal prep.
meal prep. That
mhm,
is super, super easy. Breakfast is one of the easiest that you can prepare for. And so I'm going to encourage you to think about what it is you like. Do you have to have variety or can you have the same thing every day? So if you do 5 of them on Sunday, you've got the whole week taken care of until the weekend. Just think of what's important to you. What you
mhm,
already know, the big focus is preparing yourself for the week regarding your
mhm,
meals. And so just break that down. What do I like? What don't I like? And know which direction you want to go in. Do you need it hot? Do you want it cold? Just all
Yeah.
the little things
mhm.
that can help you be successful in achieving that one focus area.
And don't be like me and buy the little things that you could put your meals in and never use them.
Oh no, I try. The thing is that I have to get up and eat. The challenge is I need to eat before I get there because once I get there, it's your hands on with the kids, and so it's kind of. I mean, you can eat, but what I like, well, in this season because it's kind of cold, I would like to eat like an omelet. Well, who wants to eat a cold omelet?
Do you like oatmeal?
Veggie. Hmm.
Do you like oatmeal?
Um,
But I'm asking you if you like oatmeal. I don't like oatmeal.
not really.
Okay, so all you need to do is muffin cups. And you take your muffin
Yeah,
tin,
I remember those.
12 of them in there. You like omelets, egg is the base.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And you can go into your refrigerator and find things that you like in your omelets,
Yeah.
chop it up, drop
Mhm.
it into those little 12 muffin tins,
Mhm.
bake them, and then you can heat them up before you head out the door in the morning. That's 12 options right there.
I used to make the muffin. I gotta start making them again because I used to make
Yeah,
the muffin.
that's
I make
true.
those. And it's so easy. You literally crack an egg, throwing stuff in there, salt, pepper, bacon, you're done.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
So
I used to cut up like little pepper and stuff, and then I would bake. And it's true, I would just grab one in
mhm,
the morning. I would heat it up,
and
and
you gone.
or I would take them to work, right? And when I would get to work, because at that time I had like a microwave in my office, whatever, I would pop it in the
Hmm.
microwave and eat my little egg muffin.
Mhm. You're done.
I gotta stop.
It's really just thinking again. what is your goal? Set that
Mhm.
intention, as Theo always tells us.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
your focus area is preparation so that you can have a healthy breakfast in the morning so you're full. And
Mhm.
so then, make it simple,
Yep.
but also make it filling.
Right.
So we unsolved 2 issues tonight.
But that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, we're in coach mode, right?
Right.
But the reality is, right? It really is about
Mhm.
what is the goal, right?
Right.
What are the intentions? Because I'm telling you, and even for me, right? Like I tell people all the time, right? I'm always gonna go back to my career, right? Like I've been super successful in my career, right?
Mhm.
But it wasn't until I really started shifting my mindset to think about, right, the things that I really wanted that I had told myself I couldn't do, right? But then when I said, you know what, I want to start my own business,
Mhm.
I would get an LLC, right? So I had to be intentional about figuring out how do I do my LLC? What is the paperwork I need to do, right? Then, so it really, when you really begin to think about what is that thing that I really desire, right? If you stop telling yourself why, this is the key. Stop telling yourself why you can't do something, and then figure out
How?
how.
Wow. Mhm.
And then when you figure out the how,
Mhm.
the intention comes in. Because
Mhm.
in order to execute,
Mhm.
those are my strengths coming out. Because you
Mhm.
achiever,
I'm sitting there thinking,
right?
Mhm.
Because every word I'm saying as I'm talking, I'm like, these are my strengths, right? But it is that execution comes with that intention, that being purposeful,
mm-hmm,
right? About what it is that you need to do in order to make it happen.
mm-hmm, for
Mhm.
sure. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have to be difficult.
Right.
It,
Just
it it's not always easy, but it can be simple.
Yes.
Mhm. You know what a funny story is? I love my oils too. So every day I'm putting on my oils and I'm learning more and more about them and I'm reading. I'm in that little I'm in that little
Your
text
little
group.
book.
Not the book, the text group.
Oh yes,
Oh,
in our
in the
private
basement.
education group. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm reading the little tips now.
Awesome.
My little
That's
coach.
why we
Look,
drop them in there
look,
so
Coach
that
Netta got on me one day. she's like, you're not. She's like, are you in the group? Let me put you in the group. I said, oh, I think I am. She's like, you're not reading. I was like, oh my goodness. So I started reading. I really did. It's really good tips in there.
Yeah.
But one day my grandson, he plays basketball. So he came downstairs and I was like, oh my God, look, he's talking about this and that. I said, just come here. Let me put the oils on you. I don't want this. I don't know what this is. Just sit down. Let me just put them on you. 'Cause he's all aching because he's playing like for like 6 hours because that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And he took a shower. So yesterday he said, oh, Grandma, are you going to get up early? Do you have to work? I said, yes, I do. I said, why? He says, I need to put lotion on. I said, put lotion on? I said, what do you mean? He goes, you know, the oils. He called them oils.
oh, he wanted the
Oh,
cream. He wants some cream on him so he can be ready to
But he wants the oils.
good.
I said, oh,
now you want my oil.
oil. I
But
said,
you know what? Your focus is impacting his
it
focus.
is. So he knows how they work because I do it often to him, not every day, but often.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess because he played very hard and he took his shower, so he just went to bed.
Mm.
So I said, well, if you get up at 7:30, I put him on. He, no, I'll get up at 8. And I said, and don't you dare go in my room and touch
I
them.
touch my stuff.
Because you do not know how to put them on and you'll
Right,
put the whole bottle on you.
right, right. That's right.
But you know what I love, right? Sometimes I don't have, I'm not gonna say I don't have time, but like if I'm, trying to get to a meeting quickly and I might not have time to like really put my blends in,
Mm-hmm.
Your self care.
right? What I
Mm-hmm.
love is my bubble.
Okay.
Mhm.
right? So like if I need to hop into a meeting real quick, I'll like, okay, let me put my bubble on, and then I
Mhm.
can go back and sometimes I'll have like something diffusing in the kitchen, right?
Mhm.
Right. But this bubble, I'm like, I love it because I could just like put oil in it, and I'll be like, okay, maybe I need uplifting, right? Maybe I need
Mhm.
relaxing. But I
Mhm.
will honestly say also, like when you said one of my focuses, right, is like starting to use the toothpaste
I
Mhm.
got that. And I
consistently.
got the laundry detergent.
Oh my God, I love I love the laundry.
So, for those who may not understand, all of this conversation is surrounding health and wellness,
Mhm.
and anything you put in you, on you, or around you impacts that. And so, their focus is their health, but they're hitting different avenues of life
Mhm.
using plant-based options to support how well they show up emotionally, mentally, physically, all of it. It does have an impact.
And I mean, and it is about well,
Mindset.
intention and mindset, right? Those
Yep.
are
Mhm.
the two things, right?
Yep.
It really was about mindset because at first I'm like, I don't got time for this. First of all, it's expensive, whatever. But then the other thing is I learned how to invest in myself,
Mhm.
Mhm.
right? Because we tell ourselves so often we don't have the money to do whatever. But then, I go look at all the shoes I have. I go look at,
Right.
all of this, right? And then you say, okay, or filling up that little Dunkin' Donuts app.
Ooh.
So that's the example I always use with my clients, right? I'm
Mhm.
like, or someone that's kind of on the fence about coaching. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, so how many days a week do you go to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks?
Mhm.
And on average, if you go on 5 days a week, we're gonna keep it simple. You're spending
Mhm.
$5 at minimum,
Mhm.
right?
Minimum. Yeah.
Mhm.
Five times seven is what? 35,
Mhm.
right? Take that 35 4 times, right?
Mhm.
And I tell people by the end, then you figure out how much money am I spending in a year,
Mhm.
What's your focus?
right? Once you're
Yeah.
focused. But I think it also is that mindset shift. Like
For
Mhm.
sure.
I have this one client, and we do pro bono stuff, right? So
Mhm.
this is a young lady that she has a service I need, I have a
Mhm.
service you need, right?
Mhm.
And I remember our first session, I was like, if you do the work in 90 days, your life, you could
Mhm.
change something in your life.
Mhm.
She always says to me, she said, you told me in 90 days. She was like in like 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
I said, yeah, but that wasn't me.
Yep.
You shifted your mindset,
Yep.
you were ready, and you did the work, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And like I'm seeing her now on like Instagram, and she's like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I'm like, you're doing the work. Like
Yes.
now she's focused. Now she's
Yes.
right. Now she's like I always talk about practicing gratitude.
Mhm.
So she not only practiced gratitude because she's a journalist, she's a writer. She's now created journals
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
people can buy, right? So
That's awesome.
Mhm.
So, do y'all mind if we do the intention activity?
let's do it.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm never gonna say no to intention. That's my thing.
Okay. So, I participated in this with another group led by a coach,
Yeah.
and the statement was, if you don't set an intention, you won't know where you're going. So
Mm,
that's focus. You
yeah.
Mhm.
gotta know where you're going.
Yeah.
And that's if you don't know where you're going, you have no idea if you're on point or not.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you can't go where you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So we talked about the GPS,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So painting a clear picture is important. So let's just do this really quickly. And for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to tell you what it is you want, right?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So the statement is I want $1 million in my bank account. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what
I'm sure there's a lot of us that want $1
Mhm.
million in our bank.
so we're in agreement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And so that's the what. Now the question is, why do you want it?
I I purpose, and I just said this to someone at my church, right? I really want it because I want to be able to give back to other people. Like I want to live a nice life, but I also want to be able to bless other people.
Yes. So in doing that, every one of those dollars represents a life you've impacted.
Mm-hmm.
So it changes how that feels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here we go. Here's the exercise. So you have your business. Your business is growing. $20K just landed in your bank account. 20K is there. Boom. And you get to do something with it. What's that thing you're going to do with the 20K that just landed in your account? What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to give 10%, right?
You're going to tithe.
I'm going to reinvest in my business.
Okay.
I'm going to invest because, I like to invest, right? And then I'm going to like for me, it is, giving back to women and children in need. So find like either, domestic shelter or, and donate, right? Whether it's clothing, food, money, whatever, right?
All right. What about you, Regina?
Pretty much the same. I would, of course, tithe, invest in my business, invest, so can invest. And where I am right now, investment school system, not the system itself, the school.
Okay.
Because when it filters into the system, it goes through all these channels. But what is needed in the school?
Okay. So, all right. So we got month one, 20K landed. Okay. Month two, boom, another 20K shows up. You've done those things that you just listed. That's done with month one. You got another 20K in month two. What are you doing?
I think it's consistency, right? So I'm gonna always, give the 10%, right? And I consistently invest. So I think it's consistency, but I'm probably at this point gonna set up where I'm doing automatic into whatever, charitable venture I'm going into. So now I'm probably setting up, or an automatic, right? Because now I don't know if that I'm believing that 20K going to keep showing up.
Okay. It's going to be a pattern.
And even if it don't, I'm believing that I can still give it, right? So,
okay. So month two, the 20K, you're still investing and giving.
Yep.
What about you, Regina?
I am going to, like Theo said, the same, but tweak it a little bit with it. I think because right now I'm seeing so much in the schools, I'm trying to go to another school and try to, because I just see how, especially in the brown and black community, how the schools get some computers, something. But you know what? Let me step back. I would try to figure out a system to get better food in the schools.
Oh, I love it. Now you're talking my language. Help the babies, please. Help the babies.
Because they bring this horrible,
But I thought they had got to a point where they weren't allowing
it's horrible.
Wow.
Is horrible.
Okay, so month two, we're giving, we're donating, we're serving, we're impacting lives because remember, the reason we have it represents the lives we've impacted. And so now we want to send that out and help others. Okay. Month three, God is faithful. You've done what he's required of you to do. Month three is 50K.
So month three, I am literally helping my niece daughter, right? The child that my sister had for me that I've stolen from her, right? I am helping her open her nonprofit, which is her dream, right? So
now you're investing in somebody else's dream.
So yeah, so my niece daughter, like her dream is to start a nonprofit. So now I'm investing in her nonprofit.
Okay. Regina, what you doing with your 50K? Because we at 90K now
Mm-hmm.
in 3 months.
And it's really more than that because we done invested, so it's growing.
Okay, so you pulling the interest in.
But I'm not. But I'm putting like,
Okay.
I am going to I'm torn. Because it's going to take so much to. I want to reach out and somewhere down the line help my family with whatever their needs are. Well, my siblings.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, she's okay. Help my brothers
Mm.
realize
Yeah.
their whatever. My one brother and I, we would say if we ever got, we would help each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we would help. It's 4 of us,
Mm-hmm.
so we would help.
Changing the family tree.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that would be.
Month 4, another 50K. We done helped the family. We done invested. We've given. We've changed lives in the school system. We've helped, nonprofits. We've done a lot. What's
Mhm.
the next? I mean, the other money's taken care of now. You've already done what you're going to do with that. You got another 50K in month 4. What you doing?
Oh Jesus, what am I doing with it? I think I'm.
The homeless situation.
Yeah. I mean, which that's like a.
Yes. Well, not the housing. Like try to provide some You said 50K.
Mhm.
Oh. Not a lot of money for that, but
But I think I probably am because having worked in a homeless youth shelter, right? I probably would find a homeless youth shelter, whether it's the one that I worked for before or another, right? To be able
maybe upgrading them, giving them things that they need, like
Mhm.
making focus on maybe 1 or 2,
Mhm.
giving them the beds. They're how you go in and they all look.
Yeah.
Put life for them. Make it look happy, a happier place.
So you go remodel.
You
Yeah.
could, like, I mean, and I will honestly tell you, people did that. Like when, because you get certain funding and grants, right, from the state. So there's certain things you can and cannot do. But we always had donors that would come in and they'd be like, they would come in and paint, or they would buy new furniture, right? So I would probably want to do something like that, right? Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Also for the moms and babies that are in, like, they had the young ladies that were there with their babies, right? And so also, how do you support them, right, in raising their child in that environment?
So we got month 4, we spent that 50K. Month 5, you got 100K.
Oh Jesus! All right.
Now what you doing?
I want to open up a women's resource center.
Okay.
So
a lot of what you're all talking about is external.
I was about to say, now with the 100K, I feel like I need to sit still and I need to ask God. I need to ask God, like, what am I supposed to do with this money? like at that 100K point, I'm like, okay, I've done this, I've done that, right? And of course, I'm gonna probably continue in that vein. But now I feel like I gotta be like, okay, what is it that you would have me to do?
That's 240K in 5 months.
Yeah, like what would you have me to do with this 240K?
And so the purpose of this is to change the focus.
Yeah.
And expand your mind to receive these types of blessings that God is more than able to provide.
Yeah.
And the reason we did this activity is that person's life. This is what year after year after year after year this is the coach that I did this exercise with.
Yeah.
This is their life.
Mhm.
The money just started doubling and
Mhm.
tripling because the focus was serving.
Mm.
And every dollar meant that that was a life impacted.
Like it. Yeah.
And this is in the health and wellness space.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And when you know when you think of it like that, right? And then for some, because we have gotten so into this conversation, for those of you tuning in or tuning later, this is the Woman to Woman show, right, on the New You Nation Network. But I will say, which is why for me, like my coaching is affordable. I feel it's affordable compared to, you know, some of these others where they're like 2,500 for this or whatever, right? And people are like, why are your prices so low? Because when I started my coaching service, it was because I wanted women to be able to afford coaching, right? Because I knew it took me a long time to
Mhm.
do it because I had convinced myself that I couldn't do it until I finally shifted my mindset. It was like, okay,
Mhm.
stop spending money here and there, you can do it. But I say that to say is I think also it goes down to what you're talking about, that focus, right?
Mhm.
Like why are you choosing to do the thing that you're choosing? Like yeah, I'm passionate about helping other women, right, live the life that they desire to live, like to reclaim, transform their lives, right? How can they do that if they feel like they can't afford to do it,
Mm.
right? And part of it is a mindset shift,
Absolutely.
right?
Mhm.
But even with that, shifting your minds is easier said than done
Mhm.
when you're trying to figure out how you paying Peter to you robbing Peter to pay Paul, right?
Mhm.
Or you feeling like I'm working and I don't have enough, right? So how do you incentivize somebody and help them shift their mindset, right? And part of it is the sacrifice, right? Of why are you really doing this? Is it all
Mhm.
about making money or is it about really helping someone?
Yep. Yep. So I guess we've reached the 9 o'clock. It's a little after 9 now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This was a great conversation. It was supposed to help us expand
Yeah.
our mindset to understand that this is someone's reality and it can be ours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
And also, right, not only is it someone's reality and it could be ours, right? But in order to really manifest it and have it be yours, there's focus,
There has to be focus.
which is intention,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you gotta have that anchor,
Mm-hmm.
right? So are you on point? Like what's your anchor? What's your why?
Yep.
Right.
Right? Because
Yep.
your why after being in the school system is you're experiencing, you're like, oh my God. And you're probably thinking, my grandson, my granddaughter are gonna have to go through this system,
Mhm.
right? How can I make it better for them and other children like them?
Mm-hmm.
So now that has become your focus. Right. And Netta, you know, you the health, you need to tell people how they can find you.
Yes, you can email me at manettafields.com. You can find me on social media, Holistically Motivated LLC, because this, once we take care of ourselves, we can show up better to take care of others. You can
Mhm.
serve better, you can live better, you can feel better, you can do better, you can create better. All of the things that we desire to give back in service and in love, we got to be whole and healthy ourselves to pour out. And so we'd love to be supportive. Hopefully, you've enjoyed this conversation tonight. You found out that either your focus is clear or it's not. Got a little work to do, but also that there are smaller steps. You don't have to focus on all of it at one time, but focus on something.
Mhm.
Right.
And then Regina, you need to tell people how they can follow you so that when you start giving information about the retreat,
Yeah.
they have it.
So it is Seasoned and Fabulous on all platforms. IG, TikTok, and Facebook.
Mhm. Right. So yep. So be on the lookout for
Mhm.
information on the retreat. Save the date, April 27th.
27.
So put it on your calendar. So when she sends it out, you know, because it's going to be an intimate. Now I'm advertising for you because it's going to be an intimate event. So you want to be able to get in quickly because it's going to close after a certain amount of people. So yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Theo.
And I can be found at Theodora Carter. And Theodora is spelled like Theodore Roosevelt, but just change the E to an A. Carter, like Jimmy Carter. 428.
Presidential tonight.
Yes, the president.
428 on Instagram and Facebook. And my email is info@theodoratcarter.com. And that's where you can find me. And I will say, you know, if you already follow me, you know I'm the intention queen, right? So I truly believe in, you know, getting up every day, whether you set your intention daily or whether you start your week out by setting the intention. I really do feel like your week is more successful when you are intentional about how you're moving through that week. So I would just say, you know, your focus has to include intention, and intention really is another way of saying action, right? Like, you know, because you're not going to get from point A to point B by just not doing anything,
right?
And that's it. And so we will say thank you for joining us. This is the Woman to Woman show on the New U Nation Network. We will return on February. What is that? I think it is the 11th, 12th, right? So February 12th. At 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the Woman to Woman show on the New U Nation Network. If you are not following the New U Nation Network, you need to like and subscribe to the New U Nation Network. And you can catch our shows, the replays of our shows, the replays of the other shows that are on the network. And we'll see you here again on 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at February 12th. February 12th. Right.
And this is on YouTube, right?
Yep, it's on YouTube. So you can until February 12th, you can go catch up on the other episodes. Right. And so we're going to end as we normally end, which is truth plus transparency equals healing. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.